Good morning, everyone. This is Gail Dudley with your news in motion. Let's get started. How are you today, y'all? Come on in the room, people. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. Come on in. Who's in here already? Y'all see, I'm still trying to get some stuff situated with more cameras up here. I'm trying to figure out what's happening. But come on in the room, everybody. Who's in here? I see you, Marion. I see you, Jeffrey Allen James, and Adrian. I see you, Stephanie. I see you, Pastor Alex. Good morning to all of you. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How was your weekend? That's what's most important. Good morning, Yvonne. Good morning, Deborah Johnson. Good morning, Kim Edmondson. Good morning, Kimberly Graves. Good morning, Pastor Annette. Good morning, Shirley. Good morning, Bill Palmer. Good morning, Brenda Randleman. Good morning, Reakis. Good morning. Y'all up on a Monday morning. Hello, somebody. Good morning, Jacqueline. Good morning to you. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope all of you had a wonderful weekend. So much going on in this world today, but hopefully you also had time to just relax, to breathe in, to breathe out, and to see what the world has going on for us today. So good morning, Julie. Good morning. Good morning to everyone from YouTube. We're trying to balance the chat, so we are getting your feedback. And first, let us apologize that we're not pulling your chats in. We're still trying to figure out how to pull the chats in from every platform. And it's a little bit difficult, but we are learning it. Good morning to everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. So tell me something good. Tell me something good. Okay, I see you, Kimberly, that you had a great weekend. Your peeps from Michigan came down to see you. That's great. Good morning, Felicia Williams. Good morning to you. Good morning to everybody. Good morning. Good morning, Peggy. Good morning, Pastor Antoinette. Good morning. So what else is happening? What did you do this weekend? Give me some feedback. This is the weekend recap. We just want to hear how things are going. Good morning, Kenny Stanley. Good morning, Gracie. Good morning to all of you. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So talk to me. How's life? Tell me what you did this weekend. Good morning, Laverne Price. Good morning to you, sister. Good morning. I'll share on my end. Many of you know I had the second vaccine, the second shot, and we had doctors on location on Friday. So I just kind of like had prepared for that weekend to chill to see if I would have any reaction at all. So I think we have enough in here. So y'all, let's go ahead and get this baby started. Y'all know what we do now when we get so many people in here. We go ahead and set this news in motion. So let's do that, y'all. Let's set this news in motion. Let's go. So we're back. So let's get started with today's news. First of all, I just want to tell everyone that today kicks off Ramadan. Ramadan is the Islamic holy month, and it begins today, which is April the 12th. So Ramadan is a very important time in the Islamic calendar, and Muslims all over the world will be preparing to take part. So just know today that this kicks off their most holy week, which is Ramadan. All right, y'all. Black Lives Matter. I don't know how much more we can say about this. I don't know how much more we can do about this. But this is one thing I do know, that driving while Black can be difficult for some of us. Many of you have been seeing, I'm sure, in the news, Lieutenant, let me find his name, Lieutenant Lazario. He is now suing the Virginia police officers for excessive force. When will this ever end, y'all? NPR is reporting that one of the officers said to the lieutenant, what's going on, because the lieutenant asked, what's going on? Why are you pulling me over? And one of the officers said, what's going on is you're fixing to ride the lightning, son. And if y'all know what that means that you're about to get taken to the other side. And that language alone bothers me, that if you're even having that thought that you're going to do something to me or to someone else, that's troubling. I can't express how troubling it is. And I've seen several videos. Some videos have not been released yet, but through our media, we're able to see some different videos. And no, I'm not showing them here. But some of those videos are horrific. The things that they were saying and what they were doing. The officers decided to pull their weapons illegally and threatened pretty much to murder him. And they sprayed him with pepper spray. The dog got choked up. It was a lot going on with that. There was a lot going on with that. So let's just continue to pray for him and his family. And let's pray that something takes place in this world, that we will stop allowing these things to happen. Because I think at some point, y'all, we have to say enough is enough. So as always, I like to make sure this is interactive. So I have a question for you this morning. Before we get to our question of the day, I have an earlier question. And that question is, and I know I've asked it here before, but I'm going to keep asking it until we find some sort of solution. Because I believe through our answers, I believe representatives and people who are in the higher seats can begin to do something about it. So if this were you and you were pulled over, first of all, kudos to him to think, I'm not going to stop on this dark road. I'm going to go to the BP gas station. So kudos to him to thinking that way. Let me get over to some place that is lit. So if this were you, what would you do? Would you panic? And I know I'm asking a question that is hard to somewhat answer. Would you get out the car? He did right by putting both hands up out the window. What could you do? What would you do? What would you tell your Black and brown children to do? What would you tell anyone to do, especially with the language that was coming from these officers? What would you do? And I want to look at some of the questions. So if you see me looking off to another camera, it's because I'm looking at some of your answers. Yeah, Kenya said they lied. First of all, yeah, they lied. The video versus what the police wrote down. They clearly lied. That's true. Dana said, and then tried to tell him if he doesn't say anything, he could go freely. Yeah. Those are the things that the police officers were doing. So apparently that racist officer was terminated. I didn't read that, but thanks. I'm glad that's happening. That was smart. Find a safe space. So y'all, what else can we do? And it is really troubling. I agree with you, Marion. It's very troubling. It's very troubling. And I just don't know what else we can do. I don't know. My heart goes out as well. My heart hurts. Yeah. Definitely pull over in a public place. Yeah. Just so much. So I want you all, we are family and we care about what all of us are doing. And I'm asking all of you, good morning, Regina. I'm asking all of you to be mindful and start thinking about. So now we got to think about when we're in a place and don't know what's about to happen and thinking about other things. So can we just pause for a moment and pray for his family, please? Just pray for his family, please. A lot going on, y'all. A lot going on. All right, y'all. Entrepreneurs. And thank y'all for just taking that moment to pause. Target is helping a new generation of entrepreneurs to shape the future in retail with their accelerator program. And I thought it was important for me to share this today. Target has utilized their retail know-how to create Target accelerators, all to help businesses grow faster, innovate smarter, and move from scrappy to sophisticated. They just opened 2 new programs focused on consumer product startup, and food and beverage brand. And you can sign up now. And hopefully you have this. I'm putting this up here. Is targetaccelerators.com. Targetaccelerators.com. So if you are an entrepreneur, don't let this slip by, y'all. Do something with that. All right, when we get to finance, I want to read this. A recent NerdWallet survey found that nearly 4 in 5 Americans use mobile payment apps, including Venmo, Cash App, Apple Pay, and PayPal. And this is going to continue to grow. Many people are saying they're leaving the banking just to do it through Cash App. So be smart about it. I want you to be smart about it. There's so much going on. Yeah, thank you for putting that down there. Cherie put on here about Goldman Sachs. So check that out as well. It's Monday, and this is our weekend recap. And in this weekend recap, there's so much going on. So when we were pulling news for today, one thing that we decided to do is to start a new segment. And I know I asked a question already about Lieutenant Nazario, but we want to do a new segment today, which is our question for today. And we want you to participate. We really do want you to participate. Each day we're going to ask a question, because there are so many people that are viewing this now. And just when we're doing our algorithm and doing the viewership and looking at the target audience, there's a lot of people out here that's viewing News in Motion. And they're seeing the comments as well now that it's gone live through the platform that we're using. So they're seeing comments, whether they're on Facebook or YouTube. And then there'll be different comments that I'm calling out loud, so that when it goes to our iHeartRadio and the other platforms, Spotify and so forth, people are hearing the response. And it's my job to try to pull your name in as well. So we're going to start asking a question a day. So here's today's question, and we do want you to participate. And hopefully there are those of you who said, yes, I'm going to try this mask and do the mask. There's $500,000 on the line, so don't miss this mask opportunity. So here's the question for today. Will you still wear a mask once the mask mandates are lifted? Will you still wear a mask once the mask mandates are lifted? Why or why not? So I'm going to be quiet this time. And my team says, Mom, when you said, my daughter says, Mom, when you said, I'm going to be quiet, you keep talking. So I'm going to be quiet for a moment. So you're going to hear a little bit of silence, but I want you to answer that question. Once the mask mandates are lifted, will you still wear a mask? Why or why not? Go. Sometimes I want music in the background, but I want y'all to give me that answer. Somebody said, heck yeah. That's Kim Kiel said, heck yeah. Kenya says yes. Next question. Let's see. Peggy said yes until I feel comfortable in my heart. Pastor Antoinette said yes for my own safety. Bill Palmer is saying absolutely. Kenny Stanley is saying call me Michael Jackson. Regina is saying yes, certainly in large groups. Oh my gosh, I'm loving all these answers, y'all. Lori is saying absolutely because you want to protect me and my family. Patricia Lyles is saying yes, I'll wear a mask because you don't really know what is in the air. Y'all, she works at a hospital. Y'all might want to listen to her. Kenya also says, until we reach herd immunity, we will still need to wear a mask and have social distancing. I'm loving these coming in. Not PTO. You got to tell me what PTO stands for. I'm a little slow. John Gore says probably for a few more months. Dana says yes, because COVID is still here. Pastor Alex is saying, I will not stop wearing a mask until we reach herd immunity. Cassandra, what's up, girl, says yes, although I'm fully vaccinated to protect others. I'm loving y'all's answers. Yay, this is a win. Yes, I will still wear masks. What Jacqueline says, there are so many who haven't gotten the vaccine or refuse to wear one. I feel safer with a mask. Hester is saying, yes, others may not be vaccinated. I'm loving y'all's answers. Thank y'all for participating. Deborah is saying, yes, haven't been sick in over a year. You know what? I have to be honest with you, Deborah. Same thing here. Same thing. Louis Pryor there. Hello to my brother. Says, yes, inside my job. Lori Williams Wallace saying also new strains are coming all the time. I'm loving y'all's answers. Judy is saying yes, I will wear a mask, especially outside my family bubble. Also, don't know who's been vaccinated. Thank y'all so much for participating in today's question. Thank you. All right, team, you were right. Sometimes I was like, but y'all, I ask questions throughout. They're like, will you ask a question for today? And I love it. Thank y'all for participating. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for participating. All right, y'all, let me give y'all an update on my second shot. I had my second shot on this past Friday, along with Cassandra Tarver. Had her second shot. Kenny and Kelly Stanley had their second shot. Adrian had her second shot. I know I'm missing some people. There were several of us that had our second shot. My second shot was very interesting. We have Pfizer. We go to OSU East here in Central Ohio. And y'all, if y'all were on location with me, I had the doctor on. The doctor gave some good information. I love the two nurses, Beth and Lisa. We had a blast. We were cutting up the whole time while we were there. And so I had my second shot, and the doctor said to me, he said, now listen, he goes, people are having different things. He says, so just kind of like be alert that if anything is off or anything changes, it could be due to the vaccine. I said, okay, no problem. Came home, I had breakfast, came home. And right around 10:30, I was like, man, I'm exhausted. And it hit me out of nowhere, like just complete exhaustion. I was completely just tired. I was just like, I don't know what to do. I didn't feel bad, but I was just exhausted. So I said, I'm gonna just lay down across the bed just for a moment and just see if this goes away. I probably fell asleep about 11 o'clock, and I did not wake up until almost 4 p.m. And when I woke up, I was extremely groggy, but I just still got up and started moving around. And I can only attribute that feeling to the vaccine. Other people were saying they had headaches, but after a few hours, it went away. And even with the headaches, I'm trying to read some of it. No restrictions from getting my second shot. Yeah. And Kimberly says, love that you interviewed the doctor. Doctor was having a blast with me. Let me tell y'all. I was like, dude, are you flirting? No, really. He was really a great dude. And he was really just sharing. And just our one-on-one conversation, even after the taping, was great. So yes, we had a good time. So there have been people that they had headaches, or other people. And what I'm hearing is that you have to stay hydrated. I'm hearing that from a lot of people. So drink a lot of water before, not the day of. I'm talking like leading up to your second shot. Drink a lot of water before and then also after. So let's get to these coronavirus numbers. Since we want to talk about the coronavirus, let's get to these numbers. In the U.S., confirmed cases 31,869,996. 31,869,996. Deaths, 575,595. Deaths, 575,595. Recovered, 24,423,589. All right, y'all. I want to just pause and say we need to continue to pray. Continue to pray. Continue to pray. DMX. Rolling Stone magazine did a tribute of 16 essential songs. And yes, we had Prince Phillips, who passed away. He was a Duke of Edinburgh. Okay. Let's talk about King DMX. I always want, and this isn't the inspirational message, but we need to be mindful of people who are struggling and crying out for help. I really want us to be mindful for that. I struggle a little bit because we are quick to write folks off. In today's news, I want to talk about helping people. Really helping people. So 4, 3, 2, 1. I love that song. Prayer skit. Stop being greedy. Slipping. Money cash. And there's another word behind that. Blackout. Let's pray for him, his family, and let's pray for those who are struggling in his passing. Yeah. All right, y'all. For the win, Lieutenant Nazario. For the win, Lieutenant Nazario. Just because I think he needs some encouragement. He gets the win today. And if you see my struggle today, and I am struggling today, no lie, it's because I don't understand how we keep finding ourselves here. I don't get it. And I'm wrestling with it. Yeah. Inspirational message. Encourage someone. Intentionally seek out those people who are struggling. I'm drinking water so I don't cry because I'm like really about ready to bust out into tears. There are hurting people out there. And so often we laugh at them. And so often we just kick them to the curb. But I don't want us to do that anymore. You know, I think about the Masters yesterday. And the 29-year-old, the first time a Japanese person won. And his name is, and I hope I pronounced it correctly, Hideki Matsuyama. I was excited when he won. I was extremely excited when he won. And it says it's time now for things to change. And it's time now for people to be honest about what's going on. It's time now. You know, I was listening to, and I don't know if Mike Nicholson is on here or not today, but I was listening to Mike Nicholson. Mike Nicholson does some lives throughout the day. You just have to follow him on The Culture and then connect when you see him come on. But, and I know I'm not being professional today. I don't care, y'all. This is me. And so I'm leaning in and I'm struggling here. I don't care. But listen, when he won, I said, good. Good, I'm glad he won. First of all, he was great at the game. And yeah, I did watch a little bit of it. And second of all, it was so good to see the first Japanese male golfer win the Masters. Yes, yes. So when I even go back through and think about DMX, and I gotta be honest with y'all, I got angry. Oh, I see Mike is on here. I got angry. And I'm gonna just tell you, I got angry. When everybody was talking about Prince Philip. Okay, he's a cool dude, 99 years old. He served a great life. He decided to play a role. He did it well. He was his wife's confidant. He was an advisor. He was doing some good things. He also did some things that weren't so good. So, okay, yes, he passed away that day. And yes, we pray for that family as well. And yes, Prince Harry is going to be with the family, and prayerfully they can get back on the same page. Okay. But DMX, y'all, the coverage was not big, especially when I thought about us, the people who look like me. Come on, are you really telling me you're not going to highlight someone who was in my home through music, who we talked about, who we danced to, who we cried over, who we saw where he was crying out at times for help, and how people was like brushing him off and they weren't dealing with him, and he was struggling. He was asking for help. This man died of a heart attack. And through his passing, his dying of a heart attack, you know, there was just so much there. I see Mike is now on here. That 4-3-2-1 song, I learned how to dance to that from Mike Nicholson's hip hop class. Seriously, I did, and loved it when that came on. We were doing it. This is when we were pre-COVID, before COVID, when we were actually in Mike's studio. And so it's made me start thinking about how many people are struggling with some sort of addiction. With some sort of addiction. You know, yeah, I went through the news pretty quickly today, but this to me is news because addictions are real. Addictions are real. And there comes a point that we have to stop saying, oh, well, whatever, to individual people and start asking ourselves, how do I reach out and help this person? You know, I'm gonna make a statement that I think I think that some of y'all may frown upon me saying this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Yeah, Pastor Annette, we use some of his lyrics in the church. Some of you may disagree with what I'm about to say, and that's okay. That's okay. It's okay. Let's agree to disagree at times. But I think Christians can sometimes be the worst people. When I say the worst people, I mean that we will say things to cut people deep, and then we turn around and say that we're saying it all in the name of love. You are not saying that in the name of love. You are not saying that in the name of love. And if you don't have a relationship with the person, watch what you say. On Instagram, I did a question yesterday, and the question was, why do people think they can say whatever they want to say? And that we're to receive it and not respond to it. No, there's something wrong with that. And thank you all who participated on my IG page. There's something wrong with that. And I think as believers, those of us who are who are listening or viewing this on Facebook or YouTube or listening by audio on other platforms, we need to be careful. And I know I sound like a broken record, but I'm going to keep saying it until we get to it. Until we get to and get an understanding of this. There is nowhere in the Bible that I read that we should just leave people to the wolves or leave people to fend for themselves. Now, yes, I believe that we can help. And if we find that they're not looking for our help at this time, or we find that God is like, you know what, but just back off, but check in on them every now and then. Yes, I believe that is so. But to just write people off, I think we need to stop immediately writing people. No, I don't think. I know that we need to stop writing people off so quickly because we don't know who we're writing off. We don't know. Addictions, by the way, there is a sickness. And I'm not a counselor by any means, shape, or form. But from what I've read, it's a sickness. And here's the truth. We're all sick. Yeah, I said it. We are all sick. All of us have something that we're dealing with. Every last single one of us has something that we're dealing with. Some sort of issue. It may not be mental health issues, but we're all dealing with something. Live long enough, you're going to come across something that you're going to have to deal with. So as we're looking and saying, oh, you know, my neighbor's crazy. Well, watch how you say that. Maybe they really are struggling. They really are having issues. And if you cannot make the connection of a verbal conversation, begin to pray for them. Begin to pray for them. Hurting people do hurt people, Regina. Thank you for saying that. Y'all, my heart is heavy this morning. It is. Man, it's heavy. Because I sit back and I look at how we X people off. Even those of us who have what we believe some sort of normalcy, we get X'd off. And some of us are hanging on with a thread, and some of us are going strong, and some of us are doing well, and some of us are just in a place where we're like, I just need some peace. Seriously, y'all. Seriously. I literally wanted to forget the news headlines just to get to this space. Because I think it's so important. I think it's so important. Yeah. Yeah. Words and actions do hurt. I agree with you, John. I agree with that. Kenny Stanley saying, from what I know, I'm a recovering addict. Wow, thank you, Kenny, for being vulnerable and sharing that.
29 years clean. Addiction is a disease. Yeah. And I'm glad you made it through, Kenny. I'm glad you made it through. Yeah. And I'm sure that you're mentoring others. But hear me, y'all. I'm sure that Kenny needs some brothers around him as well, so that he can stay clean. Y'all, that's where we are. That's where we are. Brenda says, I don't think people wake up one morning and say, I think I'll be some kind of addict. It's an illness. It is. I'm going to share this story and then I'm out of here. And I got permission from my husband to share it. And then I'll be out of here. My husband did a funeral in Oberlin, Ohio. And Brenda Random and some others of you who are watching from Oberlin, you will remember this. And the young people, it was a younger person who had passed away. And these young people, some of it was gang related, a lot of it was addiction. But they had planned to bring into the church small bottles of liquor, of alcohol, and they were going to throw them in the casket. Well, my husband got wind of this. He was like, no, that ain't about to happen. And people wanted there just to be like a definitive no, tell them no, they can't do this, that, or the other. But my husband, being who he is, and I know I talk about him a lot because I do love him, y'all. And I do believe that he knows what he's doing. I do believe that he's true to who he is and what he does and what he says. Instead of just telling the young teens, no, you're not going to do this, he decided to meet with them early before the actual funeral and have a conversation. And the way the conversation went was like, man, you're gifted. And he didn't judge them. He talked to them. He says, I don't know what's going on, but let's just talk. He went up in there, not in his robe. He went up in there in some FUBU jeans and a sweat jacket. Like, look, let's just have a conversation. And from the conversation, he never told them what they could or could not do. But from that conversation, they did not go through with what they had planned to do. And of course, it was the perfect place. And Brenda, you might remember this. This was a perfect place that at the end of that funeral, he decided, shoot, I'm going to open the doors of the church. And several of them gave their lives to Christ and started coming to church regularly. And they said they had never witnessed a pastor. This was years ago, y'all. They had never witnessed a pastor who said, y'all, let's just talk. He knew how to find out whoever the head person was and told him, says, just come in in your jeans, whatever, come in, let's just have a conversation. And that was the conversation. I believe that lives can be changed if we would just take time to say, let's have a conversation. Let's talk. Let's talk. Help me help you. I see you. That's all people really want to know. People want to know, do you see me? They're like, do you see me? And our response should be, I see you. I see you. I see you. All right, y'all. That's all I have today. That's all I have today. So let's be intentional. Let's be intentional about our conversations. Let's be intentional about what we're saying. Let's be intentional about what we're thinking. Let's be intentional before we just write people off. Let's be intentional. And if you're saying, I don't know how to have these conversations, pray about it. Talk to somebody who you know can have these conversations and ask them, what do you do? Now, you can't mimic what they do, but you surely can go ahead and do what you should try to do so that we're reaching people. Yes, Deborah, lives can change through conversation. All right, y'all. Y'all know I didn't mean to go. Yeah, I did. I was going to apologize. I'm not going to apologize. I did what I did. I said what I said. So y'all know what we say, right? Stay well. Y'all continue to practice social distancing, continue to wash your hands, continue to do all of that. Please wear your mask. Stay well, y'all. And remember, make some moves. I'm out.